Okay, let's be honest for a second. When you hear the word accounting, what pops in your head? Spreadsheets, right? Taxes? Maybe just endless columns of numbers? For a lot of people, it sounds, well, kind of boring. But what if I told you it's actually one of the most powerful storytelling tools on the entire planet? Yeah, let's uncover the story that these numbers can really tell.
To really get why this matters, we have to start with a problem. A huge one, actually. It's a problem that thousands of business owners face every single day, and most of them don't even realize it.
I want you to imagine something. You're a pilot, okay? You're in the cockpit of a massive 747. You're thousands of feet up in the air, but the entire instrument panel is dark, blank. No altitude, no speed, no fuel gauge. You have absolutely no idea where you're going, or if you're about to fall right out of the sky. Sounds pretty terrifying, right?
Well, that is exactly what it feels like to run a business without understanding your financials. You're just making decisions based on gut feelings, on guesswork, completely in the dark. Accounting, that's your instrument panel. It's what tells you everything you need to know to fly the plane safely and actually get to your destination. So, let's just bust this myth right now that accounting is only about crunching numbers. I want you to forget bean counting for a minute. Think of it as financial storytelling.
At its very core, accounting is just a system. It's designed to give the people making the big calls the right information. It's all about creating clarity out of what seems like chaos so they can make much, much smarter choices.
And I absolutely love this description because it's both an art and a science. The science gives you the rules, the structure, but the art is in how you interpret all that information and present it to tell a really compelling story about the business.
And this right here is the whole point. We're moving way beyond just logging sales and purchases. We're using that data to check the pulse of the company, to diagnose its health, and then to chart a course for its future.
So, how does that transformation even happen? How do you take this giant pile of what seems like random numbers and turn it into a story that actually guides your strategy?
Well, it really comes down to a clear, logical process, one that turns all that chaos into clarity and turns simple transactions into incredibly powerful insights. It all boils down to these 4 simple steps. I want you to think of them as the 4 acts of our financial story. You record, you organize, you prepare, and then you present. Let's see how each one builds the narrative.
Okay, first up, we record. Every single time money moves. A customer pays an invoice, you buy a new piece of equipment, you pay a salary. That's a key event. This isn't just data entry, okay? You're capturing the individual plot points that, when you put them all together, are going to form the whole story of your business.
Next, we organize. All those little plot points get sorted into their proper categories. This is what brings order to the chaos. Your sales get grouped together as revenue. Your costs become expenses. You're pretty much just organizing the characters and settings of your story so you can understand what role they all play.
Then it's time to prepare. All that organized information gets summarized into these key financial statements. Think of the income statement as the chapter that tells the story of your profit, and the balance sheet is like a snapshot of your financial health on one specific day. These aren't just reports, they're the chapters of your story.
And finally, we present. The story is complete, and now it's shared with the people who need to hear it. That could be managers, investors, or you. The whole goal is to deliver that narrative so clearly that everyone can see the patterns, understand the risks, and make confident, informed decisions.
So now that we know the how, let's circle back to the most important part, the why. What does this whole process actually give you? What's the power it unlocks?
It's actually pretty simple. It replaces all that fear and uncertainty with knowledge and confidence. It takes you out of that dark cockpit we talked about and flips on all the instruments. You can finally stop flying blind.
The benefits really come down to 4 critical areas. You'll finally understand your money flow, not just how much you made, but where every single dollar actually went. You'll make decisions based on real data, not just a gut feeling. And you'll stay compliant and be able to effectively manage your financial future. I mean, this is the transformation right here. You shift from just hoping you're profitable to actually knowing your exact margins on every single product. You stop spending blindly and start budgeting with purpose. You go from constantly putting out fires to proactively planning for long-term growth. It's a total game changer.
This is the most fundamental benefit, really. Money is the fuel for your business. And accounting? Well, it's the fuel gauge. It tracks that fuel,
showing you exactly where it comes from, your revenue, and where it goes, your expenses. Without this, you're basically just driving until you run out of gas.
And yeah, on a super practical level, it keeps you safe. Good accounting makes sure you're meeting all your legal reporting requirements. But it's more than that. It builds trust. When your numbers are clear and transparent, investors, lenders, and partners all have confidence in you.
And this is where things get really strategic. With clean data on your revenue and expenses, you can create accurate budgets and actually forecast what the future might look like. You can confidently answer questions like, hey, can we afford to hire a new person, or is it time to raise our prices?
So ultimately, it all comes back to this one central idea. Accounting isn't just some task you have to get done, it's a language you need to understand.
Look, if you remember anything from this, let it be these three things. Accounting is financial storytelling. It's the essential process that transforms raw data into strategic insight. And it is, quite simply, the language of business. So I'll leave you with this question. Whether it's for your company or even just for your own personal bank account, if you were to really look at the numbers, what story is your money telling you right now? And maybe more importantly, are you listening?